Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fluctus channel. The Defender Europe 20 was the largest deployment of troops from the United States to Europe in more than 25 years. The main goal for the United States was to draw pre-positioned stock from locations in Germany and Belgium with the support of its NATO allies and partners. Almost 20,000 service members were tasked to spread out across the region and participate in various annual exercises. Defender Europe 20 concluded with redeployment of U.S. forces and equipment. After performing the exercises, the U.S. service members cleared the training areas, returned pre-positioned stocks, and returned to home stations. This exercise not only demonstrated the U.S. military's ability to rapidly deploy a large combat credible force and equipment from the United States to Europe, but also nurtured interoperability with its NATO allies and partners. The United States has developed what's known as the Army Pre-Position Stock (APS) program, which allows the U.S. Army to strategically pre-position sets of equipment, such as tanks and wheeled vehicles of an armored brigade combat team in climate-controlled facilities worldwide. This allows the soldiers to fly to a location and fall directly on all the equipment they need for combat, ultimately reducing deployment response times. There are 5 stocks available worldwide. They are identified as APS-1, located in the United States, APS-2, situated in Europe, APS-3, a sea vessel capable of traveling anywhere, APS-4, located in Northeast Asia, and finally APS-5, situated in Southwest Asia. These 5 stocks are available to support all combatant commanders' missions, not only during the war, but also during exercises and humanitarian missions. There are several ways of transporting vehicles from the pre-positioned stocks to the desired location. On February 5, 2020, the U.S. military conducted convoy operations to Savannah, moving equipment in preparation for the Defender Europe 20 exercise. The procedure started with assessing the equipment required for the exercise, ensuring all vehicles, weaponry, and supplies were ready to use. The logistics specialists organized the extraction of vehicles from the pre-positioned stocks to the desired location in the shape of a convoy. Now, the U.S. military needs to move battle tanks from home bases to several locations in Europe. For instance, a vehicle cargo ship known as the USNS Benavides was used to transport M1 Abrams tanks from the United States to Germany in support of the force projection exercise Defender Europe 20. Service members, stevedores, clerks, and other port services personnel collaborated to successfully load tanks from the port to inside the USNS Benavides. Once the tanks are loaded, the cargo ship is underway toward the desired location. The cargo ship is pulled by a tugboat as it nears the port in Germany. After the ship is stabilized, the crew lowers the ship's ramps so that the U.S. Army personnel can get on board and initiate the protocol to unload the M1 Abrams. As the crew guides the M1 Abrams tank down the ramp one after another, civilian German port personnel check the paperwork to verify the vehicles. After the M1 Abrams, the fully tracked M113 Armored Personnel Carriers, APCs, are towed down the ramp of the ship and are verified by German civilian port workers. Additionally, the crew unloads several high-mobility multi-purpose wheeled vehicles, Humvees, and M2 Bradley infantry fighting vehicles. Various tank transport vehicles are used to move tanks within Germany. On February 28, 2022, soldiers with the 16th Sustainment Brigade transported M1 Abrams from Coleman Worksite in Mannheim, Germany, to Grafenwohr, Germany. Each tank was secured to avoid any unwanted movement on the road trip. The tank transport vehicles had a unique load securing system to accommodate M1 Abrams. Initially, the tanks were positioned perfectly on the transport vehicles, and then they were tied to the surface using turnbuckles, chains, and anchors. After installing the chains, the personnel used spanners to tighten the turnbuckle to remove any slack in the chains, which further enhanced the grip of the tank with the surface. For conducting Exercise Defender Europe 20, the first U.S. military convoy containing soldiers from the 2nd Armored Brigade Combat Team and 3rd Infantry Division crossed the border between Germany and Poland at the border crossing of Kolbaskowo. The convoy included vehicles such as Humvees, heavy expanded mobility tactical trucks, HEMTs, and medium tactical vehicles, FMTVs.
Although the vehicles will move in the marked column, this column is not privileged, so the driver must obey the traffic regulations and, in particular, move the right lane.
All of these vehicles took part in the exercise Defender Europe 20. The convoy crossed the border at night so that it would not have any effect on civilian traffic. Before deploying soldiers at a new location, preparations must be made beforehand to ensure a successful transition, especially when it comes to getting the necessary equipment. It is easy to just draw the equipment from the nearby Army Preposition stock, rather than shipping it. However, the process of the APS Draw must start in the early stages of planning to ensure everything is in order. APS program is designed to save money and provide fairly new equipment to the unit. Moreover, it helps prevent maintenance problems with the vehicles because the equipment is checked and maintained on site to ensure it will be ready at a moment's notice. Once the inventory begins, the units conduct a component-level inventory for each item and then conduct preventive maintenance checks on the equipment. The entire brigade works collectively to sign for the equipment, inventory it, and move it to the other locations in Europe. Before the Defender Europe 20 began, the U.S. military personnel ensured everything was ready, especially the battle tanks to be used for live fire exercises. Therefore, the soldiers checked the fuel level of each battle tank and refueled it if necessary. This ensured the battle tanks were ready to roll and no hindrances occurred during the live fire exercises. During Defender Europe 20's first phase, nearly 6,000 U.S. and Polish soldiers participated in joint training in Poland's Drawsko-Pourmiski's training area. For the second phase, the U.S. deployed more than 550 soldiers to Europe to participate in the month-long training phase for this U.S. Army Europe-led exercise. Demonstrating its emergency deployment readiness, the strategic deployment of soldiers to Poland showcased the Army's ability to alert and deploy its forces across the globe rapidly. On August 11, 2020, these soldiers participated in a combined arms live fire exercise, firing several rounds from approximately 55 Abrams tanks and Bradley fighting vehicles. On June 16, 2020, the U.S. and Polish forces performed a joint river crossing mission using a pontoon bridge, also known as a floating bridge. This type of bridge uses floats or shallow draft boats to support a continuous deck for vehicle travel. The bridge is spread across wet gaps, and once in place, even the mighty M1 Abrams, weighing 73 tons, can be transported across the water body. When the Defender Europe Phase 2 concluded, the equipment was returned back to the Army preposition stock. However, the soldiers had to wash the military vehicles thoroughly before returning them to the APS. This ensures the military vehicles remain up to date and ready to use for the next mission. Finally, the soldiers return the military vehicles and equipment to the APS and redeployed to the United States. Defender Europe's exercise underscores the importance of pre-positioning military equipment and vehicles to ensure rapid deployment and operational readiness. Efficient logistics and stock management at APS locations enhances Allied defense capabilities, enabling seamless operations and collective security in a dynamic global landscape. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of our new content. See you next time.